Hello, my loves. How's everybody doing? I want to thank you so much for joining me today on this Monday. Today we are doing things just a little bit differently. Rather than tarot cards, I have a divinely channeled message for you. I do channel as I draw my cards, but I've been getting so many messages since this mass awakening, has started. And it started years ago. I want you to understand that what is happening now as far as energetic shifts, it began many years ago, and it's now really you're starting to see the fruition of the shift. But within the last couple weeks, I've been getting lots of messages. Even last night, I barely got any sleep because I've been downloading so many messages. I've been getting headaches like crazy for the last 2 weeks because I've been channeling all of these messages. So you too may be going through some ascension symptoms. I've been breaking out. I've had insomnia, a little touch of insomnia here and there. There's other ascension symptoms that you can definitely look up, but I've been feeling it. Excuse me. And so, rather than using the cards today, I have a whole bunch of notes that I took as I was channeling these messages. And I have these messages. They're meant for you, even though today is April 6th, they're meant for you when you see them. They're timeless messages, although they do very much apply to what's going on right now. There's no particular message that order of these messages that I'm giving. It's just listen to it. What resonates with you, please take it. What doesn't, please, let it go. But I have some knowledge to drop on you. I've channeled this from my higher self, but also from my Syrian guides. This is where I get my messages from, amongst other places. And so we're gonna start with the first message. And it seems kind of random to me, just because usually we have a little bit of a direction or whatever, and these messages are all over the place. But I guess that's because there's multiple people on multiple areas of their journey watching this video, and it may touch on where you are. And since there's so many of us, there's going to be so many different messages. So the first message is to study transcendentalism. And transcendentalism is something I studied back in 10th grade English. I've always been a very big fan of Henry David Thoreau and Ralph Waldo Emerson, and they are two of the fathers of the transcendentalism movement, right? And so there's also like Emily Dickinson, there's Walt Whitman, there is Margaret Fuller, there's also when Martin Luther King was in jail and he wrote letters from a Birmingham jail that was written in a transcendental format, and they did see him as transcendentalist for that letter, So the transcendentalists, they were idealists who had specific beliefs. And the first belief that they had was individualism over authority, which is something that I definitely resonate with, because I very much value my individualism, and authority is something that I don't subscribe to. I don't like to be told what to do. This has a lot to do with our past lives too. If you've had past lives of being imprisoned or being suppressed or being, just overpowered in any kind of a way, you don't like to be told what to do. I'm always trying to teach my clients how you are the only authority to your life. Okay, no one can tell you how to do you better than you can, all right? So authority figure is something that we really don't go, I don't go with, and if you're like me, then that falls within the transcendentalism category. There's also the non-conformity. I literally, since middle school, I wear 2 different socks. Like, my socks don't match. They never match. And why? One, because it's just easier if you have a clean sock here and a clean sock there, put them on your feet, right? But also, I always say that is my personal small protest against conformity. Like, you can't make me wear matching socks. This is just my thing saying that I'm going against the grain. I'm always going to go against the grain. And so that falls under that category as well. And then they believe in intuition over rationalism. Yes, science is science, and it can provide us with a ton of knowledge, but you going within, you using your own intuition, you finding your own path and journey, you trusting yourself, that is really what's going to get you through life. Recently I've been speaking about this. I've been reading a lot of the Bible, and and there's things in there that very much resonate with me. I'm like, oh yes, this makes sense to me, this resonates. And then I'll turn the page And I'm like, this does not resonate with me. Like, this fear, like, let's strike fear. You should be, you know, in Christianity, and I hope to in no way offend any Christians at all. But I believe, like, the Bible controls a lot, and Christianity controls a lot with fear. If you don't obey me, I will struck you down, and I will, like, I literally saw something, I will bathe the mountains in your blood. Like, I don't feel like God would say that. That's just me. I feel like if God is love, then I don't feel like this is the way that he would get his message across, you know? So I, in my own personal spirituality, not just in Christianity, but I take what resonates with me, whether it's in Wiccan spirituality, whether it's in paganism, whether it's in Judaism, whether it's in Buddhism, whether it's in Taoism, whatever it is, I take what feels right to my heart and I follow my path based on my own intuition. And this is what it's being suggested that you should do as well. It also speaks about the natural world or nature and how that very much reflects God and the human spirit. We see that, like, just when you see, like, mushrooms and you cut mushrooms and slice them, they look like the human ear. Or walnuts, if you crack walnuts, they look like the human brain, and they are brain food. Walnuts are good for your brain. Or if you look at a tree, it kind of reminds you of the spinal cord, all of the nerves going into your head and running down your spinal cord. If you are to observe nature, you will see that God is nature. You will see that we are all one. The trees, the animals, the people, the energy, it's all connected. And transcendentalism teaches you that. And so I am starting a learning library on I had one before, and then I shut down that page, and I'm going to be putting it back up. A learning library on my website where I'm going to be posting knowledge and wisdom that I think is relevant in this transition to the 5D. There's going to be quotes up there. There's articles, videos, art, you know, even art just to trigger. How does it make you feel? You know, what does this make you think about? It is in progress now. It's already up there and you can go and see it. Now, the old me, the perfectionist me, would have waited until everything was done, so I had like 20 things per category to release it. It is definitely nowhere near finished, but there are already a few articles and visuals and videos and quotes up there. So definitely go take a look, and it's a work in progress, and as I come up with more stuff and as I channel more things to add, I will add it to the library. But go check it out on my website, www.madebymetools.com. I'm going to be posting things to help to support you because that's what my business does. It provides you with the spiritual tools to navigate your journey. It provides you with the tools to navigate your spiritual journey. And so part of the tools is knowledge. So you can definitely go and check that out. I'm going to be, another thing you can read about transcendentalism is Self-Reliance. That one's by Ralph Waldo Emerson. And then you have Civil Disobedience, which is by Henry David Thoreau. Both essays that you can read. There's a lot of great quotes, especially that come out of Self-Reliance, and I'll try to post those on my website as well. Okay, so this is how 5D kind of operates, you know, in that transcendentalist format, in that kind of a mindset, in that kind of a belief system. So definitely check it out, because I've been told to tell you to check it out, so I'm just doing my job. Then that was the first message that I came through. Second message was a dream message. I had this dream last night, and this is only going to be for a couple specific, maybe just a handful of you who are going through this, maybe just a couple of you, but somebody listening to this video needs to hear this message. You are trying to find out what is going on with your body, some certain things that are going on with your body. And I'm being told, because you know, as we ascend to 5D, we get more sensitive to everything around us, right? And if this is happening in the middle of your life, in your mid-30s, mid-40s, you're like, why is this happening now? You know, these things never bothered me before, but now why all of a sudden? It's because you're ascending now, right? And you're becoming more sensitive. So somebody is dealing with some kind of skin issues, especially then this could be part of ascension, but I'm hearing like breaking out on your back, right? Breaking out on your face. I'm also hearing your hormones are being affected. I'm being told to tell you to check the products that you are using in your hair, to wash your hair, to condition your hair, your leave-in conditioners, leave-in treatments and creams and stuff, because some of them are really chocked full of random ass chemicals that are seeping through your scalp. This could also be people who are still relaxing their hair, seeping through your scalp and getting into your bloodstream. It's causing you to have hormonal imbalances. If you have long hair and you're finding your back is breaking out, it's because the chemicals are on your hair and they're on your skin. It's irritating your skin. For someone out there, this is going to be a catalyst for you to find your soul purpose, because you are going to create an all-natural hair product line free of sulfates and parabens and dyes and all this harsh stuff. And it's going to be a new business idea for you. You're going to start with yourself, because again, the healer's gift is their wound. You're going to be like, why the hell am I breaking? Why is my scalp so itchy? Why am I drying out? Why is my skin flaking? Why am I getting bald spots? Whatever it may be. You're going to go on this quest to find natural treatments for whatever it is that you are dealing with. You're going to turn your quest into something profitable for yourself, and also something very useful, because I was looking up there and just about all the products on the market, they have something extra, right? Things are not great when they have a billion different ingredients. Even when you're looking to buy food, right? If you're buying boxed whatever, canned whatever, if you look on the product and it's a million different ingredients, put it back, okay? Ideally, you should only be buying things that have like 10 or less ingredients. Like, that should be a goal, 10 or less. And if you're looking at the tomato sauce, it has 20 different things, try to find one that has like 10 or less. The less ingredients, the more simple, the better. Like, if you see chips and it says potatoes, sea salt, and sunflower oil, that is much better than hydrogenated vegetable oil, salt, milk powder, plus lactose, whatever. Just try to get things with shorter labels, because they're better for your body, okay? You're feeling the toxins a lot more these days. You have to come to that realization and make changes accordingly. Also, I just do see a couple people who are trying to do it themselves with their haircuts. This is just a random message. You may learn, to do your hair. You may get, in this time of self-isolation, you may be forced to do your own hair, whether you're trying to curl it or dye it or whatever you're trying to do to it. And this may propel you to want to go to cosmetology school and try to become a beautician or a salon owner or a hairstylist or something like this. Some people are very mad because they've messed up their hair in some way. They've cut it wrong, or they dyed it the wrong color. It came out too dark. It came out green, something like this. Also, when we get out of this thing, when you go back to your stylist, whether it's going back to your barber, because I'm seeing this, make sure, just the next time, if you're watching this video, then this message is for you. If you go to the salon, if you're thinking, man or woman, if you're thinking about getting a haircut, please be very specific with what it is you want before you start letting the person cut your hair. Because I literally had a vision of you saying, I just want to trim, and then I had a dream, and then somebody putting their hand in the back of their hair, and all of your hair is this short back there, and I see someone crying hysterically because their hair was not done the way that they wanted it to be done. So bring pictures, explain, I just want a trim. I want to keep as much length as possible. Or if you're a dude, just a little off the side. I've been trying to grow out my little man bun for 3 months, and he cut it off, now I have to start from zero or from square one. Okay, so there's something about hair going on there. Okay, so that was my second message. Then the global meditation that took place on 4/4/4, depending on where you were around the world. I did 2 that day. I woke up in the morning. I did one at 9:11 in the morning. That was because I'm on Eastern Standard Time. And then there was another one at 10:45 p.m. It was so powerful, okay? I could literally feel the grid that I've been speaking about, us connecting around the world, us light workers, us healers, us witches and wizards, us shaman, all of us, I could feel, and just those good-hearted people who took the time to meditate. it made you realize that we're not alone, that we are, I call us sources soldiers, right? We work for God. We work for the Most High, okay? We're raising the ascension of this entire planet. And for us to come together and use our energetic power, because like I always say, people have different powers. Some people are more physical. They get things done with their body, you know? Some people are more mental and they think of new policies and new ways and new strategies. And then some people help on the spiritual level. And that's where I personally stand. So I'm lighting candles and I'm praying and we're meditating, you know, and we're sending intentions, and we got out our drums and we got out our rattles and our chimes, and we're fighting on the spiritual plane. So that meditation was awesome. I wanted to meditate for 20 minutes, was suggested 20 minutes, and when I really got into it, when I opened my eyes, I realized that I had meditated for 45 minutes. And what was cool is I put on some nice relaxing music to help me get into a meditative state. And when I opened my eyes on my Spotify, what was playing was a song called Hold On by this group called it's called East Forest, Hold On. And it was just saying, hold on, if you can, just hold on, you know, just hold on. And we're going to get through this. And I just thought that was so awesome that that's the song that I woke up to. It was like, if we could just hold on, you know, just hold on, this too shall pass, you know. And I thought that was amazing. I felt amazing after. I do not watch the news. I do not listen to the news. It always pops up on my Instagram, and I'm trying to like see fewer posts like this, you know, because for me, it's just a lot of fear mongering and all of that kind of a thing. But I did happen to click on like Yahoo the next day, and the first post that came up was that the governor of New York was speaking how for the first time since the epidemic hit, that they've seen a drop in the death rates in New York. Because New York, you know, I mean, everywhere is crazy, but New York is really crazy with how the disease is spreading, right? So I thought it was really awesome that the day after we did this global meditation that we saw that dip. And I don't know about any other statistics. Again, I did not go looking, but just that was like a glimmer of hope for me, you know, and I thought that was really cool. And then I thought we should do this like every week, you know, we should get together every week and meditate until this thing is completely over. And I happened to go on Instagram this morning, and somebody that I follow, and a fellow shaman, the Instagram name is The New Earth, so at The New Earth. And he was on the same wavelength as I was, and he has organized a weekly meditation for those who want to keep doing this. So go on his Instagram, check him out. He has the times listed for all the places all over the world. You try to pick the place where you are closest to. And there's a weekly meditation that's going on. I will be participating, and I suggest that you do the same, because we can definitely change the world with our frequency, with our vibration, because of the collective mind, all right? So I thought that was just so awesome how everybody came together. Thank you for everybody who did come together, because we are powerful, and we're showing just how powerful we are. Then I have the message of oranges. Now it's very interesting, because I tell people the universe does not speak English. The universe speaks through us through song, through color, through number, through music. And when you get a repeating message, it's very much your responsibility to look it up. Because if the universe is speaking to you and showing you the same thing over and over and over again, and you're like, oh, that's cool. All right, I'm going to go on about my day. The universe is going to be like, I'm going to stop talking to you because I'm trying to tell you something here. So it's been really interesting, because I've been eating oranges like they're going out of style. And while I don't not like oranges, but oranges would not necessarily be my favorite fruit. Like if there was a cornucopia of fruit on a table, like oranges wouldn't be like the first thing that I would go ahead and grab. But I've been just eating. I have a rack, and I've just been eating and eating and eating oranges. It's also probably because my body is protecting itself, getting that extra vitamin C. The things you crave, whether you know it or not, your body signals to your brain like what you need. So if you need antivirals, you may start craving spicy peppers, because peppers are natural antivirals. You might start craving ginger. You might start craving black pepper or honey or whatever it may be, because your body is telling you what it needs. So it could be the fact that my body's trying to get that extra protection with that vitamin C. So I've been eating oranges like crazy. I also drink, and I have right here, usually I have tea, I have orange juice in my my cup today. I've been drinking orange juice like crazy because I can't function without my orange juice. Have you ever had a fresh cup of cold orange juice? There was an episode of Bad Girls Club back when I used to watch it. This is back when like Tanisha was on Bad Girls Club, and she was like, have you ever had like a fresh cup of juice? Like, have you ever had juice? And I felt her on a soul level because I love juice, like just plain juice. And I was listening to another song the other day, and it was like, you know I love you because I shared my juice with you. That is love, sharing your juice. Juice is so good, right? So I've been drinking juice, orange juice, eating oranges. I also bought a new tea for the kids the other day, and I didn't realize this till after, and it was a tangerine orange tea. It tastes delicious, by the way. I bought that for the kids, and when I went to put it in my pantry, I remember about a week and a half ago, I bought myself a new tea, and it's an orange Ceylon. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. It's Ceylon, orange Ceylon tea. So then I'm like, this is a lot of orange, you know, this is a lot of orange stuff that's going on. And then after all of that, after I put the groceries away and stuff, I went on Instagram, and one of the people that I followed, Cheesy Vegan, something else, the first picture that pops up was a orange creamsicle cupcake that he had made. So I'm like, oh, okay, like I hear the message. So I went to look up like what oranges mean. Oranges stand for abundance, and I know me myself have been personally working on being more abundant and seeing abundance in my life everywhere, just every nook and cranny of my life, even the darkest places of my life. I'm gonna see abundance because I've been training myself to do so. Oranges are also symbols of fertility, and when we think of fertility, we think of babies and pregnancy, but fertility means your ability to create. Excuse me. So it's your ability to birth a new job or a new career for yourself, to birth a new relationship. It could be a new pet, a new idea, to give birth to a new you know, to create. And the energy of fertility is very strong right now. It's also about longevity. Oranges represent longevity. So we're in the middle of a situation here, but we have the longevity to make it through this situation. So eat lots of oranges. It's also about beauty. It's about royalty. It's about seeing yourself as royalty. Oranges symbolize joy. It's about cultivating your own joy right now, especially now because you have limited options. How can you cultivate your joy? Because let me tell you something about God. If you can't do with a little bit, He's not going to give you a lot, right? If you can't manage your money and spend your money wisely and invest your money wisely when you only have $500 in the bank, do you think God's going to give you $5 million to play with? No. If you can't take care of one child to the best of your ability, why do you think is God going to give you 4? No. You have to do with a little bit so that can multiply, so that God can trust you to give you more, okay? If you can't keep your house clean when you have a studio, God's not gonna give you a mansion because you couldn't keep the studio together, you know, or the bills up with the studio. Before you can multiply, you have to take care of what you have, all right? And then it's also, lastly, a symbol of immortality. I already do past lives stuff, and I'm gonna get into talking about past lives in a second. But we've been through some stuff. Know that if you've been here, right, you've had to have died in your past life, right? A lot of us have died, especially in the spiritual community, have died in some gruesome and horrible ways, you know, being quartered, being burnt alive, being hanged, being drowned, being trampled, being shot, being executed. But look at us here again. Look at us here again. We don't die. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed, okay? It is recycled. And here we are. So they could have had our body in that lifetime. You know, they could have taken our body. But guess who's back? Guess who's back? Back again. They can't have us. You know what I'm saying? We are immortals. We are God. We are splinters of God. We are different reflections of God. We can't be destroyed. You need to realize that. You need to see yourself for who you are. And so oranges, go get yourself an orange, go drink yourself a nice cup of orange juice, and just remember who you are. So if you start seeing that symbol, remember it symbolizes all the things that I had just mentioned, all right? The other message coming through is that there's a huge commending of soul groups and soul families right now for unifying and serving their soul missions. Yes, soul groups. So what are soul groups? Soul groups are the equivalent of your birth family, the spiritual equivalent of your birth family, okay? we all come in. Your soul group includes people who you get together with and you recognize, and there's a soul recognition, right? So all of my witchy friends, all of my fellow tarot reader friends, all of my crystal healing friends, you know, we've known each other in past lives. We either worked together, we've been family, like actual blood family before, we've been acquaintances before. We just keep switching roles, all right? Think of us as a traveling play, like, you know, like Tyler Perry plays and stuff like that. We keep going from one place to another. I take off my costume, which is my identity, and I put on another one. But inside, we're all the same, which is why when you come across these people, we recognize each other from the past. So soul groups, but they also include, you know, in every soul family, and no, I call you guys tribe. When I say tribe, I mean my soul family, my soul group. There's also bad guys, right? Because we need bad guys. There cannot be, you know, day without night. There cannot be pleasure without pain. There cannot be healing without hurt, right? So there's also bad guys, and they volunteer. And if you're enlightened, you're able to appreciate the bad guys in your life, because you realize they stepped up and say, okay, fine, I'll volunteer this time around. I'll volunteer to be the one that everybody hates, you know, I'll be the one that everybody takes, you know, blames and because I know that that's going to help your spiritual group's growth. So everybody plays an integral role. So it's not just, you know, tarot readers are in a soul group, and musicians are in a soul group. The soul group has musicians and artists and healers and all of us, and we're stepping up, and Spirit is really commending us for coming together. So now I really just see, you know, all the people who I associate with as people in my army. It makes me know that I'm not in this by myself, that I have a whole tribe of people who are also working towards a common goal of healing this planet, and it feels so good. You know, belonging is naturally encoded in us, and so it feels so good to belong to my soul group, you know. And if you're reuniting with people and it feels very easy, it feels very familiar, know that that is your soul family. Treat them as your family members. Some of you are a lot closer, some of us are a lot closer to our soul families than our actual birth families, you know. Love and nurture those relationships, because we are out here making a difference. So Spirit is definitely commending the soul groups right now. Paulo Coelho, he has a quote, and it said, important encounters are planned by the souls long before the bodies see each other. So we've known we were coming in, you know, and now we're all together, you know. So enjoy this time of realizing, like, we're connected. We're all connected. We're all unified, and all doing what we're supposed to be doing right now as far as serving our soul mission. Then we have reincarnation coming up, and how reincarnation can be a very big clue to you if you're still trying to find what your mission here is, what your purpose here. Definitely consider getting a past life reading with me, a soul purpose reading with me, because I can tap into your Akashic Records book and I can tell you what direction you're supposed to be going in, okay? Be open-minded when you hear this, because sometimes you have a plan and God has a plan. And it's not even God. It's like you have a plan on what you think you have a plan. And then there's what you said you wanted to do before you came to this earth. You flew through the veil of amnesia. You forgot everything that you said you wanted to do. You forgot your purpose. You forgot how divine you are, because that's a requirement to come to the earth experiment. You forgot your initial planet or star system that you came from, because you flew through that veil, and as soon as you fly through that veil, you forget everything. Well, I can tell you, you know, and you're like, I'm not supposed to be a teacher. Yes, you are. So this is why I was listening to Dolores Cannon the other day, and she was saying, like, would you give a baby a 3-course meal? No, you spoon feed them, right? So God never puts on you more than you're ready to handle. So, because you could, if he came and told you this is what you're supposed to do, and now you've clouded it with doubt, you're like, no, that's not what I'm supposed to do. When really, if you go along this journey, eventually it's going to take you to the teacher you said, I never saw myself being. So just be open-minded, because, you know, and it's, it could reveal to you something that you never thought about, but that does not mean that that is not your purpose. So definitely hit me up. I'll put the information on how to book the readings in my description box. Also, Cloud Atlas is a great movie to watch. to speak about how we reincarnate and we come in different roles, but we still have that same like internal system of remembering each other. And then I was watching Charmed all day yesterday and knitting, and then it's on Netflix. Charmed is on Netflix. On season 2, episode 14, it's an episode called Pardon My Past, and they're talking about past lives and how it affects our present. They're talking about soul groups. They're talking about how like in one life you could be sisters and the next life you could be cousins, and how lovers come back and all of that kind of a thing. So definitely check out that episode of Charmed. It gives you a little bit of, you know, a little brief lesson on reincarnation and past lives. So check that out, okay? Next, there's a major calling right now for cleansing and detoxification of the body. You have to realize that you are the instrument. I always say, use me, God. You know, when I get my messages and messages, you know, my clients come back and they're like, this is exactly what's going on. I'm like, use me, God. Use me, God. I am the tool, right? I am the instrument. You are the instrument. Even if you have tarot cards, oracle cards, if you have crystals, if you have wands, if you have drums, rattles, those are all just an extension of you, an extension of your ability. Just like Thor, you know, Odin said, are you the god of hammers? No, because he's the god of thunder. The thunder runs through him. His hammer is just extra, you know, it helps to direct his power, but his power lies within him. So if you are the instrument and you're not working to your fullest potential, how can you be used? If you go to get an ultrasound and the technician has to like bang on it and like fix the thing because it's like halfway working, how good is that instrument? It's not good. If you are an axe but you're not sharpened, what are you good for, right? So this is a message to speaking about cleansing out your being and keeping yourself in tip-top shape, okay? Just like, for instance, if you had a friend, you love your friend to death, but if they live in nasty, you know, and there's a difference between messy and nasty, okay? Especially us creatives, we tend to get messy. We're like, we know where everything is in here, you know, but it tends to get messy sometimes. And then there's nasty, you know? And if you're, I love you to death, but I'm not coming in your house. I'm not, because I could bring something back, you know? God is saying the same thing. Hold on. Guys, please focus. Thank you. What? Okay, keep going. Play the game. Math games. So God is saying the same thing to you. If you have a nasty house, and by nasty, when I'm talking about your house, your body, I'm speaking about toxins, doubt, fear, lower level emotions, drugs, excessive amounts of alcohol, you won't be able to be used. That channel that connects you to your divine is not going to be able to be used, right? If you can't get off the couch and walk more than a, you know, and this is not speaking about those people who have any kind of medical issues or anything like that. You are a healthy person, but you've been lazy. You don't work out ever. You work out once every 6 months, you know. God can't use you. You can't run down the street. You can't run around the corner. You can't, you know, do a sit-up. This is the issue. So you need to sharpen your tool. You need to keep your tool sharp and ready and at its tip-top at the most, you know, all the time. You got to stay ready. We are Avengers. We never know when Thanos could come, right? And if Thanos is coming and you're not ready, what good are you? So you need to keep yourself up, okay? You are your most important thing, you know, so keep yourself together. So that's another thing coming through. Yes, I spoke on that. Yes. Reprogramming the mind. The next thing is reprogramming the mind, upgrading the system. So I think that I shared with you guys that I did a 31-day challenge where I listened to a abundance meditation, and I'll include the link today in this video for the abundance meditation that I listened to for 31 days straight, every night in March, from March 1st to March 31st. There were some days when I would like doze off reading or doze off like watching the TV, and I would wake up and it'd be like 11:30, and I would still roll over and put it on my phone and listen to that meditation before I went to sleep. And it has completely reprogrammed the way I've been seeing things, the way that I receive input, and I see it as abundant. So I want you guys to challenge yourself, try the 31-day meditation. What I did learn and my challenge is I feel as though 31 days is great, you know, grace first started, but I think about 22 days, because even my book, Metamorphosis, which the link is also below, is based on the fact that it takes 22 days to change your behavior or to change any habits. I think 22 days of a meditation would be good, you know, to sufficient if you do something. So for instance, like 1 month you could do focus on abundance. The next month you could focus on like your finances specifically. The next month you can focus on your love life. The next month you could focus on meditations based on achieving perfect health. We need to be active. It's not just going to happen. You need to be actively trying to reprogram your brain to fight against the thoughts that go against you thinking that there are limited amounts of things out there, you doubting your own abilities, you giving up, you know, anything like that. You need to challenge those thoughts, you acting out of fear-based behaviors. And one great way to do that is listen to a meditation before you go to sleep. Even today, my daughter's homeschooling, on her computer, the book that she had to read was about how caterpillars turn into butterflies. My spirit animals everywhere. It's just everywhere. And so this is speaking about the fact that you need to change and transform yourself, and you need to be proactive about doing that, all right? Increasing awareness, the messages, the downloads, the and the synchronicities, they're coming in very strong right now. That veil, that cosmic veil is so thin. It's so thin right now. And synchronicity is more than just seeing 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 9, 11, 2, 2, 2, 8, 8, 8, 7, 7, 7. They are serendipitous occurrences, okay? If you're like, oh my God, I'm so hungry, and all of a sudden your friend calls and is like, I just had food delivered, you know, I wanted to do a nice act today, I had food delivered to your house. Or if you're like, you know what, I need a new mattress, and you happen to turn on the TV, you know, I think a new mattress would help my back. And you happen to turn on the TV, and the first thing you see is a commercial for a new mattress. These, you know, are yes, that is the direction you should go into, okay? So listen to the songs. Listen with your third eye, okay? Which sounds weird, right? But listen with your third eye. Listen for more than just comprehension. Listen for the deeper meaning. You know, when you watch TV shows, that there's a theme there. Notice the theme, not just, oh, this is great entertainment. What is that theme behind that saying? When you have conversations with people, notice the messages they keep repeating to you, because this is the universe, this is God telling you how to navigate your life. But if you're unaware, because this was the issue. This is why we're in the house now. Because people were so distracted by their job and by their friends and by their love interest and by drugs and all this kind of stuff. Now God said, well, what do you have to be distracted about if you're supposed to be staying your ass in the house? Without the distractions, you're able to increase your awareness. And please take these lessons. Please take your increased awareness out with you for when we go back out into the real world. Okay, when we go back out into the world, cultivate it and keep it. A little gem to tell you, there's a site called sophia.org. Fun fact, Sophia is the goddess of wisdom. She is in my personal spirit team. She's one of the people who I call upon before I start my readings. Sophia.org is offering some free classes till July 31st, I think. And it's business, there's accounting, there's economics, there's Greek philosophy, which I'm very interested in taking. There's U.S. History 1, U.S. History 2, but there's a whole lot of business classes. For those of you who are thinking about opening up businesses, there's project management, there's introduction to business, there's accounting, and there's a couple other classes completely free, no strings attached. Go take it, go educate yourself. If you need, I want to do this, but I need a little, I don't know the business aspect of it. Go take these classes, free, gratis, and learn what you need to do, and then go ahead and move accordingly, all right? Star seeds out there, those of you who know what star systems you come from, what planets you come from, it's time to connect, you know, ET, phone home. It's time to connect with your home stars and your home planets, because they are definitely releasing information that we need to see specifically based on our missions. The Pleiadians, the Sirians, the Arcturians, the Orions, we all have slightly different missions, what we should be focusing on. So make sure you're connecting, so you make sure that you're like in your lane and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and you're contributing in the way that you were meant to contribute. I also just want to say I went back into one of my journals from 2016 and I was talking about how institutions are falling, which is a message I got directly from Sirius, that institutions are failing and falling. And now we really see it. And I remember, and I wrote down in my journal, the institutions that I see falling are banking, schooling, government, and marriage. And look at us. 2016 I wrote this, okay? Banking, the banking industry, the economy, you know, we're going to a place where eventually there will be no money, which is why I keep asking you, if there was no money, what would you do with your life? Because eventually there will not be money. I've already talked about, I'm seeing an increase in bartering, and I've already seen like a lot of posts about people, you know, especially people who were like hoarding stuff, like toilet paper and stuff. They're now trading and bartering. We're getting back to that system. So the institution of banking is falling. Schooling, everybody is out of school right now, and school is something that's very important to me. I'm a very big nerd. I learn every day. I always love school. I was like the one who was always in school. I'm never faking, you know, sicknesses to get out of school. In high school, I was always at school because I love school. Howard University was the best 4 years of my life. I love school. My kids will have the option of whether they want to go to college or not. They're going to finish high school, but if they want to go to college or not, I'll support whatever decision that they make, because the institution is falling to show you that life is school, that you can learn in everyday life, from cooking to cleaning to walking around the block to learning crafts, to just breathe. When you're just having a conversation with someone, you're learning, okay? When you're watching a movie, you're learning. When you're gardening, you're learning. When you're learning about a car, how to fill oil, you're learning. You learn at everything you do. So while I do support school, the reason the institution is falling is because it's showing you that you don't need it to educate yourself. You can educate yourself in a multitude of different ways. Then we have the government, and we already know, just like we're moving to a place where there's no money, we are moving to a place where there is self-governance. Like back in Atlantis, when there was no police, before, because that's what went wrong with Atlantis. We got government, and then the government became corrupted, and then they used the crystal power to our detriment, and then we were all drowned because of it. We have an internal, compass of morality. We know what's right and wrong. You know what's right and wrong. We should be able to govern ourselves. And I don't think that everybody is there yet, but we are definitely moving to a place where everybody should be able to know, you know, don't randomly be knocking people over. Don't steal. Like, why do we have to tell you don't steal? You know, like this kind of a thing. We're moving to a place of self-governance as well. And then marriage. Not to offend anybody's marriage, but marriage is just like the schooling section. It's telling you that you can be married. That's wonderful. But marriage and commitment are two different things. You don't need marriage in order to have commitment. And that's what just like you don't need school in order to educate yourself. If you want school, go. If you want marriage, go. I'll come. I'll shake my ass. At your wedding, invite me. But it's just telling you that you don't need that. Also back in Atlantis, they didn't exchange rings. They said, are you in this? Like, I'm in this. I want to commit to you, and I'm very serious about it. And the other person would say, I want to commit to you too. I'm very serious about it, and that would be it. Because they've dedicated, and we want to raise children together, we're going to raise children together. We're going to build a house and a home together, then that's what we're going to do. It's only after that corruption started that they started making women cover their heads as a sign of subordination. They started exchanging rings to make each other look like property of each other, okay? And that's also when they started circumcising men in order to demasculate them. That's another story for another day. So these institutions are continuing to fall, and we see that more and more every day. We see these major changes happening. It was the minor changes. This didn't happen just one big way. It was the minor changes that led to these major changes, and it's still going. It's a wonderful time to be alive. It's a wonderful time because when we look back at this, when we're old and gray, we're going to be like, we were alive. We were a part of this movement that changed the world, like changed the face of this planet. And I'm grateful for that. Through all of the BS, you know, through all of the aggravation and frustration and sometimes fears. I'm grateful to be alive right now at this time in history, because this is a major, this is one for the books, okay? This is definitely one for the books. But we're in the end game now, you know, and things are coming into fruition, just like us us visionaries, as people who can see the future. We've been placed here. We're messengers, you know, just like Jesus. We're messengers to tell you, hey, guess what's coming up, you know, like, and it's not so that we can get credit, like, oh, I told you. I don't care if I don't want any credit, you know, or recognition. Oh, she said this 4 years ago. I just want you to hear the message. Did you hear the message? You know, this is where we're going towards. So it's like I said, it's a wonderful time to be alive, and I'm blessed to be able to be someone who's able to deliver these messages to you. Speaking of other messengers, I just want to highlight someone I found here on YouTube. Her name is Landria Unka. Landria, Landria, Onkka, Onkka. She's in the learning library as well. I think you should listen to her videos, because I was listening to her videos, and her mentality and her message is very much in line with the ones I've been downloading. She very much can help you to transition into the 5D as well. So I just want to put you on to her videos. But basically, those are the messages that I have for you today. These are the messages that I channeled for you today. I hope that you take something from this video. I really want you guys to chase your purpose with a passion, because there's not going to be side jobs and side hustle. I'm trying to get you ready. I'm also with your eating, right? I'm not trying to tell you to eat like me. I'm not trying to tell you to eat a specific way because I think it's a specific way. Either you get with it, or in the future, like, you're not gonna have, like, the future is vegan. The future is vegan, okay? You could start transitioning now, or you could wait until it happens, you know, but I'm trying to give you the foresight. The future, we're eating high vibrational foods. We're not eating these processed foods. They're not going to be allowed to put toxins on our food and pesticides and stuff like that. That is not going to be a thing anymore, okay? It's not going to be a thing where you're working at a store, a little convenience store, when your true purpose is to be an advocate for children, or to be a healer, or to be, you know, whatever your divine purpose is to be. So you need to chase your purpose now. I remember when I first started my tarot business in 2015, and I was telling people, if you get on this holistic health wave now, in 5 to 10 years, you're going to be set, okay? The medical industry is also something, as far as like chemical medications and stuff, that is falling and flailing. Holistic healers are the future. People are going to be like, oh my God, I don't feel good. Let me go to my acupuncturist. Let me go to my shaman. Let me go to my energy healer. They're not going to say doctor. They're going to go to their spiritual healers. So if this is your calling and you start laying that groundwork now, you get your business now, you will be set in the next 5 to 10 years, because we are the future. All right. So get with it. Hit me up for the readings. Continue to be healthy. I continue to pray for you guys. I will continue to fight for you guys in the spiritual realm. If you need anything from me, you let me know. And I thank you so much for taking the time to watch this message. I love you guys. Peace. Bye.